Good evening to one and all. Am I audible?
Yes,
Yes,
sir,
sir,
you
you
are
are
audible.
audible.
Good evening once again. Very good evening to all. Myself, Dr. Tarun Chaudhary from Tulani Institute of Commerce, welcome you all for the 1 week virtual faculty development program on fundamentals of research article publication. Our resource person has already joined us. It is said that creation and dissemination of knowledge through research is one of the core functions of higher education institutions. Apart from generating new knowledge, it is indeed very important to have the in-depth knowledge of research and its publications in various journals, articles, etc. Keeping this in mind, Tolani Institute of Commerce has come forward to cater the needs of research scholars, academicians, educationists, etc. by arranging 1 week faculty development program on fundamentals of research article publication from today itself. The objective of this faculty development program is to give an insight about how and where and in which journal publications can be useful. This FDP will be an eye-opening session for beginner and middle-level researchers and also aimed at imparting the skills required to handle different tools and technologies that are useful during the entire process of research and scholarly articles and communications. This FTP intended to orient participants towards developing their own research plans, paying due attention to every stages of research. It is said that information anxiety is a black hole between data and knowledge, and it happens when information doesn't tell us what we want or need to know. With this famous quote, it gives me an immense pleasure to invite and to introduce our resource person and eminent speaker, Mr.R.Gowtham, who has already joined a session. We welcome you, sir. We welcome you, sir, for today's session also.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for this invite. Can I start?
No, sir. No, please wait.
Yeah.
Mr. Gautam holds a national level record for writing maximum research papers on accounts written and published by individual in India Book of Records. He has worked as an assistant professor of commerce in Madras Christian College during 2018 and 19. He has qualified UGC NET examination for assistant professor in commerce. His area of research interest includes taxation, finance, and entrepreneurship. His teaching interest includes accounting, finance, and management. At very young age of 25, he has more than 30 publications, most of which are listed in UGC journals in India. He has also served as resource person for webinars and organized various conferences, short-term training programs for students, as of we can see today itself. His works are well recognized with various awards, of which Best Educational and Research Development Services, Young Research Award are noteworthy. His works are also recognized with Best Paper and Posters Award by premier institutes in India. This 1 week FDP sessions will be handled by Mr.R. Gowtham only. We welcome you, sir. Okay. The thing is, we welcome you, sir. Due to some issues, our principal madam is not with us. So, sir, we welcome you on behalf of principal ma'am and our teaching staff. We welcome you, sir, for today's session. Tomorrow, madam will be there. She'll be addressing tomorrow itself, sir. But for today's session, she is not with us, but she has sent best wishes to all the participants and to you too, sir. Over to you, sir.
Yeah. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Hope I am audible and my voice is clear.
Yes, sir.
Before I start over this session, I would like to express my sincere thanks, first of all, to the management of the Nalini Institute of Commerce for creating this wonderful platform for research scholars, academicians, especially on the one of the core topics today on fundamentals of research article publication. I'm sure all the participants who have joined here on completion of this 1 week FDP, I'm sure you will have some fruitful takeaways from this FDP. So before I start my session today, I hope you all know the agenda for today's discussion, which is nothing but recent trends in commerce and management research. So the way we have structured this FDP is to take you from simple to the complicated areas. So we will start from a very simple one today because this is also it's of quite relevance. Though it is not possible for me to compare all the trends because the globe is huge, so many new trends are coming up, but I would concentrate on few core areas which you can really think upon while writing your research article. Because each and every one of us as researchers, whether you are a research scholar or an academician, we want our article to be read by more persons, more people. We want our articles to be more visible. We want it to be more citable, right? So in that case, in that perspective, the understanding of what is happening, what is the recent trends in commerce and management research is very much important, right? So that is the perspective with which we kept this topic as the day one topic. And gradually, as we move further and further, we will move little more technical from tomorrow. We all know that tomorrow we are going to talk about research metrics, then journal selection considerations, then how to identify predatory journals, then finally we were concluding with reference management. So if you have any questions, you can reserve your questions. I hope we have a question and answer session in the end. I am open to answer you all. And my sincere appreciation to all the participants. I'm so happy to meet you all today because despite being a working day for most of you have joined us today to gain some sort of learning out of this workshop. So I really like your learning spirit, which is very much essential, right? That thirst for knowledge should be there. So I really appreciate all the participants who have joined here for today's session. So without wasting much of the time, let me share my screen. I hope my screen is visible. And can somebody tell me whether the slides are
Yes, sir.
moving?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay, good evening all. So happy to meet you on this day one. Today's topic for discussion is what are all the recent trends in commerce and management research. What is this commerce and management research? That is going to be our next question, which I'm going to answer. But before which, I would like to start with one of the popular person's quote. We all know, I hope most of you must be aware about this person, Philip Kotler, right? So if you are not aware, I'll tell you once again, just like how we call Adam Smith as father of economics, Philip Kotler is called as father of modern marketing, right? Philip Kotler is called as a father of modern marketing. And recently, I think he also gave his lecture in one of the colleges in Delhi. It was so privileged that I'm capable to hear from him, such a wonderful person. So he has given a wonderful statement because he's purely a marketing professor, and he has given a beautiful quote. He has given so many number of quotes, but one quote which always, which I like personally, is the one which I have shown you here. Every company should work hard to absolute its product line before competitors do. Right? So this talks about, though he advocates this for a company, I feel this is even applicable even for us. What he says, every company should work hard to absolute its product line, which means right? Every company should constantly focus on research and innovation. They cannot stop themselves with one particular product. Once they launch one particular product, they should start working on it so that they make that product obsolete, right? And what he says, before the competitor does, before some other competitors launches some other product to make it an obsolete one, instead the company itself should make it obsolete. So here he gives you very stresses upon the importance of research and development of or research and innovation of the particular company, right? Every company will have different departments, as we all have our marketing, production. Likewise, we'll also have research and development or research and innovation department. So there he highlights the role of the importance of this research and innovation department, where they have to constantly focus on upgrading their product. So they cannot simply say this is done. And one best example is, I would say there are many such examples, but what comes to my mind immediately is Apple, right? We all know Apple. Every time they come up with new products, right? Every new features, new add-ons, so many things. So same is applicable in research also. So what he is trying to do, you keep upgrading yourself, right? What he is trying to advise the company, you keep upgrading yourself. Don't stay with one particular product line. Give improvements, and so on. Likewise, as researchers, we should also be stay updated with the industry which we are working in. What is happening? What is happening in the research arena? First of all, right? No need specifically commerce. What is something new that is coming in the research domain? What is new something that is coming up? Do you come across? Because as academicians, you have vast number of network. You might be in several groups. Do you find something new topic coming up which you are not aware? Then definitely try to learn such topic. So with this, I'll move on to the next one. Yes, this is my motto which I have given here. I always try to achieve this one, academic and research excellence. That is my motto, my personal motto. Maybe you can call it as my vision or mission, whatever it may be. That's what my motto. And agenda for today's discussion, and I have bifurcated today's session into three different categories. Right, the first section we will talk about what just like a preliminary introduction to commerce and management research, and we will just give you an overview, because we all know, like most of us would have studied about research process, starting from writing, selecting a research topic and ending up with report writing. We are all aware. So I'm just going to just give and touch upon just an overview about the research purpose. So this is the section 1. Then in the section 2, I am going to give some of my tips out of my experience. What are all the tips to identify a right research topic for you people, right? Which you can consider. Of course, we cannot, the list is exhaustive, the tips is exhaustive, but I'm going to share with you some few tips so that we can stay updated with the industry. We can make our research article quite so visible, increase the visibility and also the citations aspect. Then I'm going to touch upon the core aspect. What are all the recent trends in commerce and management research with a few examples. With each trends, I have taken few examples working across this thing, where those articles are which are really highly cited ones, right? Those articles are nearly cited maybe around 30,000 times, right? 40. I have seen articles which has been cited for 1 lakh times, right? While most of us, of course, many people would have been here with a much number of citations, but as young faculty members, as young scholars, we struggle to get at least one citation, 2, 3, 4, 5. But I have seen people's profile where they have 1 lakh citations, 80,000, 70,000 citations working in the domain of commerce and management research. So we will be discussing about the trends. Then finally, the third section will consist of your concluding remarks and Q&A session, which you can go. Okay, let's come to the first topic. What is commerce and management research? So first of all, we have to be really understand what is the research in our domain means, right? So what? Yes, is my slide moving?
Sir, slide is not changing. On
Okay,
first, we
now
can
is
see
it
first
okay?
slide.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes,
Now it's
yes.
Is it okay now? Okay,
Yes.
then I'll move like this. Now can you see commerce and management research?
yes, miss.
Sir,
Yeah.
can you share the second slide once?
Second slide. This is the second slide.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Okay. Let's talk about commerce and management research. So, when as people we are working in commerce and management research, we have to first focus on what is our research is all about, right? So, commerce research is basically concerned with gathering extensive information, especially with regard to all aspect of business. Of course, we focus on our output of the ultimate outcome of this research is to increase the sales and profit. So purely business in nature, right? While the management research, it focuses on resolving the company issues, right? Commerce research, purely trade related research, right? Where we will suggest, we will conduct research to focus on how we can help companies in increasing their profits, right? What are all the different strategies which they can adapt, business plans, business models which they can adopt so that they can increase their sales and profits. So that is the commerce research. Management research, it's a methodological investigation in solving the company issues, right? In resolution of company issues and specifically focuses on the management expertise. So that's why I combine these two, right? The successful business, for the successful business operation, we need both aspects, the commerce research as well as the management research. Both are very much essential. So always, why I have to put this definition means always focus on your research paper should some way or the other should help the business entity, right? Should some way or the help the business entity. Often our research is focusing on. Of course, I don't say you have to neglect on the individual dimension which is there with regard to commerce and management research, right? We'll talk about employee satisfaction, we talk about customer satisfaction, we talk about buying behavior, all such things. Yes, I'm not saying it is not out of preview. Yes, you have to do research. At the same time, you should also focus your research on your paper should focus on solving the real-time problems which the businesses are facing. Right? If you are able to give such a wonderful output through your research, definitely I can assure you, your paper will gain wider visibility. Your research will gain wider visibility. Maybe your research paper will itself become a model, right? Right. So always focus, keep this perspective in mind. Make it as a 70-30 or 60-40 ratio in your research. 60% solving of the business problems, 40% focusing on the individual dimensions of commerce and management research, right? Which is very much essential. If every one of us is going to start focusing on employee satisfaction, job satisfaction, employee turnover, quality, so on individual dimensions, who is going to solve the business problems, right? Business as an entity in this, especially in this high time crisis, they are facing so much of problems. So try to focus on that dimension aspect as well. Don't neglect this one, don't neglect that one also. Try to keep a balance between these two topics, which is very much essential. So, what is the focus of commerce and management research? So, what I would feel is that no research has different focus. The common focus of any research is even applicable to commerce and management research as well. Right? We can always focus on discovering new facts. We all know, right? Research is all about search for knowledge, right? As Kotari book points out, right? Research is all about search for knowledge, and often research is also focused on discovering new facts, right? exploring the unexplored, right? We all know there are so many hidden knowledge which is in this, which is there in this world, and as a researchers, it is our duty to discover such new facts through our research and innovation. So often, whenever you do a research, whenever you write a research paper, focus. It need not be a major dynamic contribution, not always necessary. Even a small, minute, new thing which you have, if you are possible of coming out of your research, which is very much essential. Not necessarily it should always be a gigantic one, completely what to say, path changing discovery. Not always necessary. Even a small mere fact which was not previously established by any researchers, if you are able to contribute, that is the true success of commerce and management research. Then, as I already told you, verify and test existing facts, right? This is also very much important there. Just like how we discover new facts, it is also important to test whether the existing facts is applicable in the present scenario, right? We all know, right? As the time changes, some theories, some results will prove to be obsolete, right? They may not work out better now. They might have proven to be a very significant model, very successful model in that particular time period of time. But in the current situation, it may not be a very good model for businesses. So always focus on. You can also focus on verifying and testing the existing facts. If the verifying it, why there is a change, what factor has made the model absolute, that will also be really a wonderful focus. As usual, what we normally used to study in our quantitative is a study of cause and effect relationship, right? Which is always there in any research. We have to, if there is any, if any problem a business is facing, what is the cause for it? Why it is that happening? How it is impacting the business? How it will impact the management? How it will impact its business activities? What the firm should do to come out of this particular problem, right? Say for example, let us take positive. Let the change can be a positive one. How this will help in the firm's growth? How this will expand the firm's position in the market? How this will help? Will this change the competition which is happening in the industry? Right? We all know the best example, right, which happened in the telecommunication industry, right, few years back. Geo, right? Geo is still proving to be successful. We all know after the coming of Geos, there are so many telecommunication companies which are not capable of surviving. They have completely exit the industry. Now it's becoming like a duopoly, right? It's becoming like a duopoly. It's either Airtel or a Geo, right? Of course, we have BSNL. Still, it's a government-oriented thing. But when you talk about private, it's becoming like a duopoly. Whether it's Airtel or Geo. If you take 5 to 6 years back, this was not the scenario. We had Airtel, we had Aircel, we had Vodafone, we had Tata Docomo, right? We had Idea, right? Then we had so many things. Now, how the industry focus has changed now. Of course, few people are still existing, but the focus, the competition has become narrowed down. It has become like soft drink industry, whether it's like Coca-Cola versus Pepsi. Likewise, it has become Airtel versus Geo. Such a positive change. Nobody, even the companies which exited now, would have not thought about this. Whether how the this Geo would create such a damaging impact for them. All right. So you can such kind of research what this Geo is doing. Yes, we all know they are giving discounting offers, all such things. Apart from that, we have to focus on other dimensions. What is the true reason for this success, right? Then you can also focus even on Airtel. While many companies have gone out of the industry, how still Airtel has managed to compete with Geo? Right? Geo was trying to be a monopoly, but still it's not possible for them. They are still striving it hard to make it as a monopoly, one private player. But still Airtel is giving a tough fight for them. They are still sustaining, right? They have proved their sustainability in the telecommunication industry, right? Which other companies, which Tata Docomo cannot do, Aircel cannot do, but Airtel has shown their sustainability, their strong presence in the market. What is the reason? What is the reason? Is it only because of customer loyalty? Okay, fine. how they were able to gain such a marketing, such a customer loyalty base, right? Of course, there was few shifts, but still Airtel enjoys a big customer loyalty. Jio also enjoying, and is following a different model. They were able to retain their customers, right? They are posing a biggest entry barriers in the telecommunication industry, right? So, what is the reason? So, our research can also be focused on such things. Then your research should also be focused on the commerce and management research focuses on improving organizational and business performance. Keep this point in very important in mind. All right, you are trailer your narrow down your focus your research on how how your research can contribute to organization and business performance. You can say, sir, we have a research and development department which is there in the company which is doing this particular thing. Yes, of course. But if you can do such a kind of a thing, definitely your article becomes more visible. Maybe you might be invited as an honorary consultant for the company. So try to explore such kind of opportunities, right? If you take foreign nations, right? I don't think such kind of research jobs are not quite so popular in our country, but if you take many foreign nations, they have a designation, they have a separate designation called as an independent researcher, right? A person would have completed his doctorate degree. He is not working as a professor in any university. He is not working in any corporate, but he says himself, he calls himself like an independent researcher. What is that independent researcher? He is doing solving the business problems, right? They are just nothing but offering research-oriented consultancy services. They analyze company data, right? They provide meaningful solutions to the company's problems, right? If you take top companies, there are many independent researchers who are really doing the data visualization, data analytics of the company data for top companies. Why can't we try the same here, right? Why can't we, through our research, contribute such kind of results to the companies, right? Always keep that point in mind. I'm not forcing you, but keep that idea in your mind, which will be really helpful, right? Then, of course, as I already pointed out, we cannot ignore the individual aspect and the society aspect from our research. Always focus on how better your research should focus on understanding the interrelationship between organization, individual, and society. Right? Of course, you can say there's CSR, which is activities which is going on. Yes, all such things is going on, but still we have to. There is a need to clearly establish a strong understanding among the individuals about why they have to look upon contributions of organization, how organization can contribute to individual and society, vice versa relationship, right? So always that should be there. So kindly, these are all the focus of commerce and management research, keeping in mind. Yes, next comes why this commerce and management research is very much important, right? We all know why we should know the importance of this research because this commerce and management research can really help in understanding the market trends, what is happening in the real business world. We can definitely do it right. So, make your research little more commercial. You don't commercialize, you don't pay money, right? You don't pay money, you don't market the paper. Let the market do commercialization for you. Let your ideas, let your research paper make the companies to reach you. Let them research work. Your research work makes you make itself commercialization. You don't commercialize it. You don't pay for it. All right. Let you write a paper in such a way it makes you commercialization, right? Let that work. We need not do that. Let your research paper do that particular work, right? So real commerce and management researchers will help in understanding the market trends. If you see, these are all the success factors in foreign nations as well as people in India working in premier institutions. They are always focusing on these kind of dimensions. So always focus on that. Then It also helps in business evaluation whether this particular business is doing well or not, especially in the accounting domain. You could find such papers, right? I have seen some papers like how the merging of a SBI's bank has impacted the performance, how it has affected its valuation, right? So such things are very less focused, but a very good contribution towards research. How mergers and acquisitions is influencing the business, how it is affecting the business valuation. All right. So it always commerce and management research will always help you in business valuation. Of course, you can understand the customer requirements, right? Maybe through this is what I talk about the individual centric, which most of us are focusing on customer satisfaction, consumer behavior, purchase decision, right? All such things will really your output will help some other companies, right? Say for example, I'm a CEO, I'm reading your paper about customer satisfaction, about your purchase decision. This will definitely help me. Okay, this is the current trend of the customers. This is how the customers is feeling about certain kind of. This is how his buying intentions are. This is what the new factors which he is considering while making his purchase decision. So, which is also very much important. Then it also helps you in identifying new problematic areas, right? Maybe you are, of course, we hope we all know most of the researchers we used to come up with scope for further research, where we talk about how this existing research can be improved further, right? That will also help you, that will also throw you light, a wider perspective on how the existing research can be improved further, right? I already told you testing of existing fact is also very much essential. So we can always focus on how the existing research can be improved further. Right? There is no research you can say it's a permanent solution because we all know time is changing, people are changing, trends are changing. Obviously, you need to come up with and you need to always come up with an improvised models, right? And it also helps you in discovering business opportunities, right? Your research paper, you may not be aware, but a businessman looking at your research paper, he can be able to identify from if you are out of your quality work, he can identify business opportunities, right? He can identify business opportunities, and of course, competition analysis, which is very much important. Right? Say, for example, in one question, you are asking your respondent to rank. Right, simple question. You are just asking your respondents to rank brand A, brand B, brand C, brand D, and suddenly out of your research you find brand D is top rank, brand B is second, brand A third, brand B fourth. Then this if the owner or CEO of the brand B is watching, he will definitely okay why my product has come down to fourth position or third position. What is my then that will make him to work. What is my competitor is offering, right? Which makes them to go to the top of the list and quickly pulling me down, right? What is the something unique thing which is happening? These are all the atoms which we may not be always aware, but still your research can really help in the competition analysis for business, right? So these are all the importance of commerce and management research. Then coming back to the components, what constitute commerce and management research, right? What constitute commerce and management research? Of course, it's a vast field, but I tried to cover, put it under 6 different headings, which is already available. You can focus your research, can focus on market analysis. Of course, accounting papers usually focus on this financial analysis. You can also focus on marketing analysis, like all your whatever you talk about your that brand loyalty, customer loyalty, right? Impulsive buying, right? All sort of marketing, retail distribution analysis, supply chain, sorry, this retail chain analysis. All such things you can put it under the marketing analysis. This is the another three major areas: market analysis, financial analysis, and marketing analysis. Then risk analysis, right? We all know there are different kinds of risk which a business is facing. Of course, simultaneously 5 to 7, 8 kinds of risk business is facing. Basically, we broadly classify them as systematic and unsystematic risk, right? Or in a very layman language, we will also classify them as controllable and uncontrollable risk, right? So you can always take any such risk and what sort of business risk the businesses has faced, or if any risk is prevailing now, you can take one company as a case study or multiple company as case studies and try to give a case report, right? How these companies are surviving the tough times, right? How different companies have survived their tough times. We all know how Nokia failed, right? We know how Nokia failed, but why a Samsung cannot fail, right? Both of them are dealing in the mobile phone industry. Why is Samsung is ensuring capable of sustaining, but Nokia couldn't do, right? So such kind of case study approaches is also very much essential. If you take Harvard University is or any foreign university like Oxford University, right? If you can focus your management research on this case studies aspect, right? Yeah, this will prove maybe if your output is really good, your case can be a well-noted case even in foreign universities. And people similarly, we will also. I'm not upgrading the foreign universities and not degrading our research. We are also really good at research, but still the thing is we need to be little forward in the race which is happening. Right, your research can also prove to be a best case study, right? That will initiate more case studies. So focus on such kind of innovative practices rather than sticking on to a descriptive paper or just a survey paper, all such things, which will be really competitor analysis. You can also do the competition analysis, not necessarily that the company only has to do the competition analysis, right? Some factors which even the companies cannot observe, right? You might be saying, right? As you read across different articles about the business industry, right? You would have observing a trend, right? Through your general knowledge itself, you can easily predict this is what going to happen in the near future. And I can assure you, if you are properly following the trend, I'm sure without any sort of sophisticated technique, you can easily predict what is going to happen in the future. No astrology or on such things I'm not talking about. If you can really understand how the market is functioning, how people are working in the stock markets, right? How Warren Buffett is making becoming rich out of the financial market. He is not following any sort of astrology or so many things. His way of understanding how the market function helps him to uh, capitalize on the financial markets. Right. Same way you can also critically, if you critically carefully observe what is happening in the market, I'm sure you will be able to understand this particular aspect. Then, of course, comes management analysis. In a decision-making perspective, from a business perspective, management level, there will be many problems. We all know that about leadership problems. They'll have employee turnover problem. They'll have motivating an employee it might be a problem, right? Especially in this COVID pandemic time. So those traditional sort of a thing which comes up, all will comes up in management analysis. So focus on all these areas. When you are focusing on any of these 6 areas, kindly keep in mind, again I'm repeating the same thing, organization, individual and social relevance, right? Your research output should give some sort of contribution to organization, some sort of contribution to the individual, some sort of contribution to the society. So these three should always go together when you are focusing on your research. Very much essential. Okay, this is quite so familiar topic. I hope you people are very much aware about it. I may not talk about much about this. This is a research process which hope you and I would have studied in all our research methodology, right? Maybe a second chapter or third chapter. In some books, it's a first chapter, all right? talks about what are all the different steps in the research process. So, the research process is same for commerce and management research. Selecting a topic. That's why today uh, our focus on the first one, which is very much important, right? When you are writing a research paper, you have to be really concentrate on selecting a topic. How do you choose a topic? Very much essential. Whatever I feel tips which can be kept in mind, I'm sharing with you. I don't think that is the only tips. The list is exhaustive, but which I feel it is of relevance today. I have given you in the upcoming slides, right? So our research process starts with selecting a topic, then defining the research problem in that particular area of study. Then we go with objectives. What is our intended objective? What we are seeking to achieve through that objective? Of course, these are all very much essential, right? You should be very much clear about who are going to be my targeted audience, right? For whom I am writing this research paper, because obviously it's not going to be you who's going to research, who's going to read. Of course you are going to read, but still you should always target. It's also like a business, like how a business focuses on its customers, right? Likewise, you should always also focus on who's going to be my targeted audience, which section is my research is going to helpful out. So always be clear with the audience, who are your targeted audience, understand them and write what is needed for them. Right? Don't write what is needed for you, right? So always focus on that, right? Today, because the competition is more, today the competition is more. There are industry is growing, people, more people are coming in, right? So we have to be really competitive enough to sustain in the industry, right? Then, of course, review of literature. We all know what is review of literature is basically simply talking about it just past related studies, your previous related studies on the topic which you are choosing. This will really help you in getting a comprehensive understanding about the problem which you are going to discuss, which or the area which you have chosen. This you have to be really careful in this area, because these four steps, the first four blocks, are like a real like a foundation of your building. We all know if the foundation is not good for a building, building will collapse. If these four foundations are not clear, your research will also collapse. So kindly keep that in mind. Then, based on the review of literature, develop a working hypothesis, not a permanent hypothesis. Right? We all know what is a working hypothesis. Working hypothesis is a tentative or a temporary hypothesis which we develop, and as we move further and further in our research study, these hypotheses get refined, right? And finally, we will arrive at a final hypothesis. So always focus on that. Then for prepare research design, sampling design. If your study requires a survey, right, then you should also focus on survey research, right? The sampling design. Then in the sampling design again, you should keep the respondents in mind, right? Don't ask so much of technical jargons, so much of technical questions. I may not be aware. You may be a very good tax professional or a finance professional, right? I am not a tax professional. I'm not a finance professional. For example, I'm talking, right? So I may not understand, but still I may give you some sort of a response. So be careful with your sampling design. Data collection very much important, right? Then execution of project, right? Then we will go for data analysis and hypothesis testing. Finally, arrive at our finding and conclusion and draft a report. And if you are such a person who are looking for collaborative research, choosing a right partner is very much essential in your research collaboration. If you are able to get a good partner for your research collaboration, then your 50 percentage of your the process is over. All right, there should be a very good rapport between the research collaborator, right? I'm not talking about superior guide relationship. That is completely different. But once you finish your doctorate, I have seen people collaborating with people and doing a research, which is a very healthy practice, which I would tell you. but don't encourage collaboration where they will ask only to add the name, right? Where every work you do, they'll just ask for adding the name. Please don't do that, right? Divide the entire research paper into two different dimensions, right? Maybe the first of introduction, literature review. Let your research collaborator take care. You take care about data analysis, hypothesis testing, and final reporting. Have your one more partner who is very good at language or communication skills, so that once you both proofread, once you get a final article, you both read it and you can give it to them for proofreading or all such things. So your output will give you a very beautiful output. But make sure your research collaborator, right? I'm not talking about superior guide relationship, that is different. There I'll talk to you. But this is about once you finish your doctorate and you have a few co-authors with you, focus on that, because that will reduce your tension. You can narrow down your focus on the specific stage of the research process. They can also narrow their focus on one aspect of the research process, so that the results will come out very beautifully, and which will really help. So this is just an overview of research process which we all know, right? Okay. Then tips to select a research topic. Before we go to understanding about the what are all the recent trends in commerce and management research, let's focus on what is a research topic. Research topic in a very simple term is nothing but a research question which you people seek to address through your research study, right? Otherwise, this is what you are intending to achieve. So finding a solid study topic is very much essential for a successful researcher, right? If your topic is going to be innovative, and if it is of going to be industry, organizational, individual, organizational, and social relevance, the first stage itself is a kickstart for you, right? It's a very good kickstart for you. So always keep that in mind. So that's why we are having this session on how to, what are all the recent trends which are there. So let me take you to the first tip which I would like to offer you all. Decide your audience, right? First step while selecting your research article is focus on who is your audience, for whom you are going to write this research paper, who is going to be your ultimate end users of this research article. Is it going to be business organization? Is it going to be individual, or is it a society in general? Who is going to be the ultimate end users, right? As I told you, understand your customers, likewise understand your audience. Yes, I could see some voice coming up. Is there any problem? Okay, fine. So decide your audience, very much essential. So if you can tailor your research articles according to your audience requirement, it itself will make your research more visible and more citable. So always keep those thing in mind. Next, very much important, right? Always understand your industry, what is happening in the industry. Don't stay always in a so traditional manner, right? Don't stick to the tradition. Be trendy in order to make your research more citable. Stay updated with the industry, right? Constant updating is very much important, right? Understand what is happening in your industry, right? What is, say for example, we are all in the education industry, right? And the most trending topic which is quite popularly is focusing on is about this national education policy which these people are talking about, right? Which is also trending. There are so many trending topics which is there. And last year I think government announced about 100% FDI in the education industry, right? What impact will it have if it's going to be get materialized, right? If 100% FDI is going to happen in the education industry, which means Harvard can come here and set up a campus, Oxford can come here and set up a campus, right? One way it is a benefit, other way it is also a problem. what is going to be, how that 100% FDP is going to impact our industry. So understand our industry, because when such things comes up, it will make the industry, I can assure you, it will make the industry more competitive, right? And if you want to sustain in the competition, if you want to sustain in the race, right, you cannot stay idle. You have to be, you, it's going to be a rat race in the near future, in the upcoming 5 to 10 years, right? It's going to be really a rat race, more or less. We are also going to become like a corporate industry, right? We have to somehow sustain. As in one of the webinars, they rightly pointed out, previously teachers is the only source of information, but today teacher is only the one of the source of information, right? So our roles are changing today from only source. Now we are moving towards one of the source. So there are innumerable number of thing which is happening in the industry, right? So we have to stay updated with our industry as well, which will help you. So focus on industry. Choose a trendy topic in your area. I'm not choosing telling you to choose a fancy topic. If your area of specialization is marketing, then try to understand what is the recent trend which is happening in the marketing. If you are an HR, what is the, try to identify what are all the recent issues which is there in the prevailing in the HR, right? If it is finance or accounting, you can always, there are a lot of trends which is happening in each of these domains. Try to understand your industry, which will be really helpful. Then understand the scope of your field, which is very much important. Why this comes into the picture means, especially this comes into the light when we choose journals. I have seen people publishing papers in an engineering journal, commerce people publishing in engineering journal, just because they accept and publish your paper on a rapid fire round. So please always discourage, unless it is a very important you that, sir, I don't have any choice, sir. You are correct, but I have to meet my own institutional requirements. I have to meet my own career progress. In that case, we cannot avoid that publishing those journals. But if you are not in a very compulsory hurry-burry basis, try to understand your focus of your field, what comes under your field and what does not come under your field. I could see in uh, construction engineering journal, I see something about customer satisfaction. I still can't understand what is the relevance of customer satisfaction, what customer satisfaction of selective brands has to do with a constructive engineering journal or a design engineering journal. So understand your field of study, right? Your article may be really good. I'm not criticizing that your research is poor. You would have written a wonderful article, very beautiful article, but you are failing in choosing a right journal. Right? Maybe the same journal, if it is going to a consumer behavior journal or a marketing journal, it would have become a more citable one. Right? I always never blame the research or quality article is bad, because you cannot really quantify the quality of article as good and bad, because for you what is good research article is different, for me what is good research article is different. Like there is no ideal standard to say if it satisfies these 10 points it is good, if it's not satisfying these 10 points it is bad. Every research article is a good article, but only thing is you need to understand your field of study, you should understand your scope, which is very much important. Then this is also very much important, most common advice which is all given to choose a topic that you are interested in, because it will automatically motivate you, right? Don't choose a topic which is not. That's why the role of specialization comes, right? Some people are very much addicted to the marketing. They will do wonderful research in marketing, but if you ask them to do research in HR or finance, they may not be very much interested, right? Likewise, choose your interest area, choose your interest topic, right? You are surrounded with so many research problems. Only thing is you have to pay your attention in your own home. Try to identify maybe your spouse or your children or your own self, what sort of problems you're facing in your work life. Think, okay, why can't we take this as a research topic, right? Discuss with your friends, Is this problem similar for you? So choose a topic which you are interested in, which will be really helpful. Then next step, narrow your topic, right? Don't always be go to the generalized aspect, right? There are innumerous number of studies which has already done, right? If you take one best example where the research is overdone is job satisfaction, right? You can see if you go, you can today download around 10 lakh, 20 lakh articles on job satisfaction, overdone area. But still, I won't say job satisfaction. You should not do research in job satisfaction. Most of them are generalized ones, right? Factors affecting job satisfaction, some way or the other, fancy words, but the output is same. Why can't you take only one factor and narrow it to that one particular factor and what is its relevance for job satisfaction? So narrow your topic, which is also a common advice which is given, and to make it something manageable, right? Don't keep yourself so much vast, which is not always essential. Then talk about your research ideas with a friend, which I always tell you, not necessarily always be a friend. You can always talk about research problem with your even with your family members. They may not be educated, they may be educated or uneducated. Just give a casual talk. Hi, Pa, how are you? What is the problem that you are facing today? Right, you are traveling, you are leaving the home in the morning 6 o'clock, coming back in the night, right? What challenges you face? Is it everything going on? He will say, everything is okay, but this is what one problem I'm facing every day, right? That will throw you a very good idea, right? Not necessarily they have to be educated. I have identified by discussing with my own father, by discussing with my own brother, right? I have identified so many. I have written that has stuck to my mind to write a research paper in HR, right? When I interact with my uh, brother who is working in an IT company, I could find, okay, these are all the uh, problems which these employees are facing. Okay, why can't we do research on that? When I talk with my father, I'll get some points. When I talk with my friends, you can get some new ideas, which as a researcher, I'm sure you can refine it, put it in a very formal term, and proceed further, right? Because I hope we are all very much gifted with such a skill as researchers and academicians. So talk about research idea with a friend. It will come. It will take you to light to different issues which are not done in the previous stages. Then, very much important, think of the who, what, when, where, and why questions. Right? Why did you choose this topic? What interest do you have about it? Right? Most of the things which are quite so familiar. Do you have an opinion about the issues involved? Right? Who are the information providers? Do you have adequate information providers for this topic? Will you be able to collect the data? Right? Who are interested in publishing your research? Say for example, you are choosing a topic and you are working. Is there any journals who is already there publishing your area of topic? Who is affected by the topic? Who is the persons who are affected by this topic? Say for example, attrition means maybe employees, right? Do you know of organizations or institutions? Is there any professional body which is governing that particular issue? Is there any nationalized body which is established by the government, either at a national or an international level? Right? Then you can get more articles on that. What are the major research questions? Is there a debate about this topic? Are there a range of issue and viewpoints to consider? Right? What is the relevance of this topic? Is it a very localized topic or a national topic or international level? It's a burning issue, right? COVID is an international level burning issue, right? Best example. Are the specific places affected by that? So try to answer all these questions which I have listed it out. All right. Obviously, if you are sure, sir, I can answer each and every question to the pinpoint, not beating the bush around. I can give a straightforward answer. I will really congratulate you. You are very much thorough with the topic. Proceed further. Then, of course, your resources, right, which is very much important. What is the cost involved in conducting your study? What is the financial support which you have, right? Time consuming, sorry, it's time consuming for the research, right? Time consuming for your research. What is the time required for completion of your research? Very much important. Will it be too much of time consuming? Will it involve too much of financial resources? If in that case you can, in financial liability today is not an issue, I would feel, because there are so many funding agencies are there. If you feel your topic is really innovative, try to make it as a project, go for funding agencies, because your funding agencies, in the report itself you have to publish 2 papers, and you can put it as a budget and publish them, right? So finance constraint is not much an issue if you feel your topic is so strong and innovative, and if you are very strong in your writing, you are very much welcome to apply for funded projects. Right? Funding agencies are there. There are many private institutions, right? Not necessarily funding means ICSSR, DRDO, DST in kinds of sciences, IMPRESS scheme. Not necessarily always. There are also many private academies which are providing funding opportunities. There are many overseas agencies which are providing the funding opportunities. So finance is not always a constraint, but time constraint very much important, because we people are involved in academic. We have to manage our academic assignments. We have to take care of our home, and we should also focus on research. So focus, give a very due important consideration to time consuming, because the researchers are always time bound. Right, I always used to say research are always time bound, except if it is going to be an exploratory or a fundamental research, like what Einstein did about law of gravity, right? Those things are sustainable. But in case of commerce and management research, researches are very time bound. If you are not able to give it in that particular time, though your article, though your research may be a really good one, it may not end up if that. Yeah, I don't know how many of you have studied or teaching this concept of international business, right? In the modes of entry, they'll talk about in the basic entry decisions. If you take international business by Francis Chernelam, right? Sorry, not Francis Chernelam, Charles W. Hill, right? Basic entry decisions. He talks about 3 things, right? He talks about timing of entry, scale of entry, mode of entry, right? He says these 3 as the entry decision for businesses: timing of entry, scale of entry, mode of entry. When I am going to enter the market, am I going to enter the market? Then scale of entry. Am I going to enter the market in the small scale or large scale? How mode of entry? How am I going to enter the market? Whether I'm going to enter independently or a joint venture or a such thing. What sense? So same applicable even for your research, right? The same applicable even for your research. Timing of your research is very much important. Which journal you are publishing is very much important. How long will it take to publish is also very much important. So all the 3 revolves around the time consuming factor. So focus, give due importance for your time consuming, because uh, though you give a quality output, when you publish, it should not be a very outdated topic. It should not become a very outdated one. So give your due importance to your time resource also, right? Which is very much essential. Then this is all known. We are always talking about originality and feasibility, right? Your research should have some sort of novelty in it, some sort of contribution should be made from your research work. It should be flexible rather than a rigid study. Your research study should be feasible, and techniques and should be already be available. So what all? This is my last tip with regard to selecting a research topic. right? What are all the other considerations? You can always check for availability of research facilities in your institutions and even outside, like library facility, data processing facility, and so on. And always, I'm repeating this point again, your output should have a social relevance, right? And especially in case of funded research, we used to recruit like research associates or research assistant. You should be capable of identifying, in case of funded research, a talented research personnel, and also which funding agency which you are going to choose is also very much important. I think if you can keep these all these 10 tips in mind, I think you can always this will serve as a guide for you to select research topic. Right now, in the upcoming slides, I'm going to show you what are all some of the trending topics which are there in our commerce and management domain. I have taken few topics as example. You can always discover, right? You can always discover more. So this now we went in the ascending order. We went like A to Z, 1 to 10. Then in the upcoming thing, we are going to go like in a reverse, right? So like in the top 10 news, how many of you, I don't know, watch for relaxation? If you watch news, no, they used to rank. They won't come from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Rather, they'll make you so sensitive, right? They'll make which one is number one movie in the top 10 list, right? So they'll ask you to come from 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. So likewise, we are also, when it comes to trending topic, I'm going to take you in the descending order. We will start from the highest number, then gradually come back to the number one trending, right? So why understanding the recent trends in commerce and management research is very much essential, because it helps you to, as I say, keep up the pace and face the challenges confidently, right? So once you are updated, I'm sure you can sustain the interest, right? So let's look out the first trend. I mean, I'm talking about the descending order. This is trend 30. So I'm going to share you 30 different trends which are there in the commerce and management domain. So the first thing which I like to talk to you about is corporate tax planning. Oh my god, right? I could see very few number of researchers coming out of this, especially I could see only premier institutions and few central universities focusing on this topic, corporate tax planning, right? This is one of the areas which you can do on, right? Of course, there are people who do on individual tax planning. There are so many research studies which are being done. Corporate tax planning and its relevance, how it's going to impact the corporate, right? How it is, how the tax planning decides the firm's corporate behavior. Today, most of us complain, right? Not all are paying the taxes. There are many business entities which are not at all paying taxes. They are avoiding the taxes or they are evading the taxes. Very good one. Why can't you focus on that, right? How the corporates do those tax planning? Why they go for tax avoidance? Why they go for how the tax laws is affecting them, right? These are all some of the areas which are there in the corporate tax planning, which you can always consider. Trend number 29, again, corporate tax reforms, right? You can always focus on corporate tax reforms, right? Especially in every time in the budget, right? In Indian context, there is some sort of announcement which is happening with regard to corporate taxes, right? Last year, we abolished dividend distribution tax. How many researchers have come out of that thing? How such tax reforms are going to help people out? How that is going to help the people out in the research arena, right? How it is going to affect the firm profits? How it is going to affect the firm valuation, right? How it is going to affect the investments made by the corporate, how it will change the future tax behavior of companies. How based on these reliefs and measures, will there will be any improvement from the company side with regard to filing of their returns? Will they still engage in tax evasion and tax avoidance, or will they be able to provide adequate thing? So focus on that, very much important, right? Then corporate tax policies, right? Previously, I was talking about changes in the tax policies. Now I'm going to focus on the existing policies which are already there. Corporate tax is there, dividend tax is there, right? So many tax policies are available, right? Tariffs are there for companies. How these policies are going to influence the companies, right? You can always focus on that core area tax policies. Of course, few there is minor difference between the three topics which we are talking about, but still there is a very potential areas of research which you can always focus on. Then trend number 27, corporate finance and investment, right? Right, how financing is happening across companies, especially uh, now the COVID time, right? There is a liquidity crisis on the demand side as well as supply side. How the firms are able to manage the finance, how they are managing their investments, how they are accounting it, how tax laws are influencing this financing aspect and investment aspect, what constraints they are facing in terms of financing and investing, investment domains, how they are accounting each of this, right? All such things you can always focus on, right? Corporate finance and investment aspect. Uh, then comes audit quality, right? Then comes audit quality, which is there, right? Which is also very much important. How many of you are aware about uh, the recent audit quality module introduced by ICAI, right? They have introduced recently. They have introduced the audit quality module, right? Why can't we focus on those domains, right? People less concentrate. Of course, if you see all these things comes under a broad domain called as corporate governance. Why can't we focus on audit quality? How audit quality is impacting the earnings management? How it is maintaining, how it is impacting the auditing research? How it is impacting the auditor's independence? Why can't we focus on such realistic pictures which will really help you, right? Which is of issue of concern. Then you can also talk about audit practices which is prevailing in the uh, what to say, which is there in the industry, right? Whether all the audit practices and policies, procedures are adequate, right? What is the relevance? Sarbanes-Oxley's Act, we cannot eliminate that whenever we talk about auditing or corporate governance, right? How the audit research has been taken a growth after the implementation of Sarbanes-Oxley's Act. What is the current status of auditors' independence? All right, how it is affecting the accounting aspect, all right? So how it is affecting the accounting standards, auditing standards, you can always focus your research on those practices, really will be helpful. Then, of course, business finance, a broad category, a very vast category. But what I mean, business finance here is nothing but specifically the financial problems which these small enterprises or a medium scale, large scale businesses face, right? The liquidity problem, the profitability problem, all such financial related things, procurement of funds problem, over capitalization problem, under capitalization problem, right? Capital restructuring problem, right? All such things you can always focus on these areas, right? Which will be helpful. Then it's narrowing down to credit and liquidity management in times of crisis, how firms are managing the credit management and liquidity management, how they are maintaining their EPS, right? How they are managing the risk, right? How they are making a trade-off between cash and credit, right? These are all some of the areas which you can always focus on because these are all relevant, unaddressed issue in the sense like we focus less attention for all these things. Then foreign direct investments, we know there is which is also very much important, right? In the times of crisis, how FDI is playing a very important role, how the funds are flowing in and how the funds are moving out, right? We could see in the very recent, people were blaming China for the coronavirus. We could see here news where they were changing their investment destination. Many people, many companies coming out of China and starting their businesses in India, UK, all such things. We found out how the capital flows. When I mean if foreign direct investment, I mean it's about flow of capital, inflow and outflow of capital, which is prevailing between two different nations. Why can't we focus on such kind of a thing, right? If FDI inflows are really good this at this time of crisis, it will be really helpful for the country. So you can always focus on this domain as well, foreign direct investments. Then general IFRS standards, you can always focus on IFRS. Any accounting standards and policies will never lose their importance. These are like some of the sustainable topics which I would say in the domain of research, right? You can always focus on the relevance of IFRS standards, right? In timely disclosure, how it is going to impact your financial performance reporting, how it is going to impact your IFRS implementation, and so on. So, which is very much essential, right? You can always take. I have given few foreign examples. But you can always focus on the Indian dimension as well, right? This very much essential. Then cloud accounting is also again coming up, right? Though a little bit old, but still old is always gold, right? So in that case, cloud accounting is also very wonderful area, especially for researchers who are working in the area of accounting and finance. You can always consider about cloud accounting, right? How the MSMEs are adopting. I have given few examples of the thing. How cloud of and accounting helps in the reporting, financial reporting qualities, maintaining accounting information system. Just like how we have a management information system, we have something called as accounting information system, which is prevailing over there. So you can always focus your area on that. Then specifically you can focus on other information systems. We have management information system, we have human resource information system. So likewise many information systems, we have business intelligence system. You can always focus on all such information system, which is also of relevant importance. Then very much important data analytics, big data analytics, right? Again, relevance IoT, machine learning, deep learning, right? Root learning, all learnings you can always include it. What is their relevance for business, right? You can always focus on that generalized perspective of data analytics in business. Then very much important leadership during crisis. How how business leaders are handling this crisis situation. COVID is one of the crisis situation, right? How the leadership styles, who are all the successful leaders who are able to continuously drive the business, still going on better. Take example of Pepsi, Coca-Cola. They are not shutting down. How they are able to sustain this crisis, right? So leadership during crisis is also very much essential. Of course, total quality management, lean management, Six Sigma, right? All those topics are still always popular. You can always focus on total quality management and its impact on service quality. You can apply it even for educational institutions, CSR, all these things. So this is the another concern which you can focus on. Then there is something called as, which I find innovative, research online, purchase offline, ROPO purchase, right? So research online, purchase offline trend. So you can always look into this. You can study more on this area and try to build a research on this. Then cognitive supply chain, right? Impact of cognition on the supply chain management and supply chain activities. You can always focus on these are less concentrated areas, which I feel if you people can concentrate, it would be really a good thing. Then augmented reality, we know virtual reality, and we are also talking about augmented reality in marketing, right? You can always focus on that. You can work on, but these are little bit technical topics. So before venturing into these kinds of topic, develop a strong background on these topics, which will be really helpful. Then, of course, e-commerce, right? We all know that today, pandemic, we cannot go outside and purchase like how we do earlier. Of course, few relaxation are there. So the e-commerce relevance have increased so far. So you can always focus on e-commerce in the present context, present scenario. Then very important problem, work-life balance. Oh my God, right? Many young people are facing this problem. Even senior employees are facing this problem. This work-life balance, even in the current pandemic situation. So you can always focus on the work-life balance aspect, right? Then work from home, again more popular topic which is trending now. Work from home or virtual work. All right, after pandemic, right? We are especially education institutions. We are forced to work from home. We are going to engage online, right? Double work for us, right? So you can always focus on work from home and virtual work challenges. How the future work scenario will be, how you can motivate the employee to work from home, all such things. Then financial technology is very much important. Fintech companies, they thought as fintech companies. I could see even courses coming up on financial technologies. So you can always focus on those aspects as well. Then digital currencies. Today I could say no. I don't know who is adding. Someone adding me in cryptocurrency groups, right? Digital currency groups. Kindly check your Telegram also. You might be also be added in any of the cryptocurrencies group because I'm complete because I used to see the Telegram only once in a week or once in 10 days. I'm not very frequent with the Telegram, right? So suddenly after 10 days, I could see somebody adding my number in some group. I think it was so, and when we talk about, and some used to text me, are you interested in Bitcoin, cryptocurrency, all such things, right? So, which is again really trending today, right? You can always focus on digital currencies. Then again a very trending topic, Industry 4.0, right? Again, people are talking about in the during pandemic and post pandemic, right? We are going to focus on the Industry 4.0 digitalized world. So you can always go about technology centric world, right? So you can focus your research on how the industry, what is the relevance of Industry 4.0 in the context of the commerce and management, the context of business. You can always focus that. Then 4.0 is over. Now people are talking about, yesterday I came across with a conference talking about Industry 5.2, right? So again, you can always focus on that. Then human capital is also a very potential area to work, but less concentrated area, which you can focus on. You can focus. It talks about development of human capital market, workforce competence, right? Efficiency of human capital during pandemic, all such things, right? So you can always focus on that topic as well. Then blockchain technology, which is seeks to making a very significant impact on the banking and financial services sector, is another hot topic of discussion today. Of course, these topics were number one, number two, but now they are going at the back. That's why I tell you, keep yourself updated. Today I am showing it as number three. Maybe in the next month it would have gone to number seven or number eight, number 10, right? So blockchain technology and its relevance for business, focus on that. in artificial intelligence and its relevance. Of course, blockchain technology is also an extended version of artificial intelligence, but it's still you can always focus on artificial intelligence application of various artificial intelligence in the business context and the application aspect. You can always focus on. So, can anybody tell? Can anybody predict what is going to be the uh, first trend one? Can anybody predict the trend one? I think it is quite so easy to predict. You can put it in the chat. Can you predict what is going to be the trend one? Right? Can anybody put it on the chat what you feel would have been the trend one? Anybody can put it on the chat. Am I audible? Hello? Hello? Impact of COVID
Yes,
on
sir. Yes, sir.
economy. Very good. Good, good, good. Excellent, excellent. You people are correct. Right? How can we avoid? Right? You people are correct. Very good. I'm so happy. Of course, top trending one is COVID-19 pandemic. Even still till today, if you are targeting top tier journals, there are high chances if you are choosing a COVID-19 as your topic. I can remember last year, right? Even top tier journal like ABDC, Elsevier, right? Publishers, no, they were accepting papers, COVID-19 paper within a fraction of 10 days, right? Even very top journals, if they see the COVID-19 in your paper, still they were accepting. But now little bit refinement has done. Though it is a COVID-19, we have to be a little bit focused on the topic. Of course, our we cannot separate coronavirus because, as people say, we have to learn to live along with COVID virus. So, of course, we should also learn to do research with COVID. We cannot do the biological thing which we can do, but we can always think about the relevance of the COVID-19 in the current era. And if anybody say pre-COVID era, post-COVID era, don't accept it. There is no such thing called as a pre-COVID era and post-COVID era because we are in the COVID era. Then when COVID-19 has not yet ended, how can you call it as a post-COVID era? So definitely that wording was not unacceptable. So which is a trending one of our research. So concluding remark, what I would like to tell, which I pointed out in the very beginning, stay updated or get outdated, right? Which is one of my principles. He used to point out in every function. He says you have to stay updated, otherwise get outdated. Same I am telling. If you are not going to stay updated, you cannot make your research articles more visible. If you are and you might get outdated in the industry. So thank you all. Thank you so much. I have given my email and mobile number. If you have any queries or if you would like to have conduct any sort of sessions like this, you can always approach me. You can always text me in the WhatsApp. I will be answerable quite so good at answering WhatsApp. And if you have any questions, I am ready to take. And the session is over to Chaudhary sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Participants, do you have any questions? You can please unmute yourself and can ask the question, sir. Participants, if you have any question, you can please unmute yourself and you can ask. Am I audible?
You are audible, sir. You are audible. I think they must be tired with a very lengthy presentation.
No, sir, it's not. Because you have thrown a very nicely manner, sir. You have explained everything, sir.
Thank you, sir.
We'll be waiting for a minute, sir. Let the students, participants. Yes, participant. Any questions? Okay, I suppose, sir, they don't have any question. So we conclude here. Thank you, sir, for your valuable presentation. You have very nicely presented and showed a very insight on this today's topic. Sir, I have one question actually, sir. Sorry to interrupt, sir.
Yeah, yeah.
Sir, is university should the research paper should be on primary data?
Not necessarily always, sir. Primary data, not necessarily you have to rely. You can always do research on even the secondary data. And even now, that is the latest trend which is happening. Right now, we could see people doing research on qualitative, what they call it as qualitative research. They take the tweets to, no, there are, within a minute we are getting 1,000 tweets, 2,000 tweets, just for a random number I'm telling you. What they are doing, they
Okay.
are taking those tweets, analyzing that, doing some technique called as content analysis, and they are coming out with a beautiful research. So need not necessarily always based on primary data, but still that fight exists between quantitative and qualitative researchers. No, still that fight exists. Which one is thing? But not necessarily always it has to be through primary data. But when you are going to use a secondary data, your role is very much important, right? Your contribution should be more. At least primary data, we can report whatever that is coming. We are giving it back results. But when you are using a secondary data, it is already a published one. So it already communicates some information to the public. So from, if you are going to utilize those data, then you should give out of it something new which is not communicated directly by the secondary sources.
Yes, sir, yes, sir. So now, sir, we have seen mostly qualitative research are more useful compared to quantitative research. So people are focusing on qualitative research, sir. I've
Okay,
seen many
okay.
of the journals saying qualitative are more people are
That's what,
just
sir. Now the trend is
focused on qualitative
qualitative.
data.
Relevance is increasing, but in that case, because I won't discourage quantitative research also. Even if you take today, though the trend is coming up, the number of journals which are accepting the qualitative paper are still less, right?
Yes, sir.
But it is now trending. But I would agree
Yes,
now
sir.
qualitative research is trending,
Yes,
right?
sir. Yes, I've seen many of the
People are
recent
bored
journals.
with quantitative. People are bored with quantitative, working with surveys, working with figures, right? So they are going for some innovative approach. Which is really appreciable. I could say many qualitative researchers giving very beautiful output, right? Really
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
interesting. But again, qualitative research is also more scientific, right? Really scientific. You need to be really so much of technical knowledge is required to go about with the qualitative research. In that case, it will give a very equal and beautiful results like your quantitative researchers. I do agree.
Thank you, sir. Anybody else who wish to ask any of the question? I think sir is with us for rest 5 days. If anybody has any doubt regarding any of the question, you can may please ask. If not today, sir will be joining us for 5 days more. So you can prepare questions and you can ask any number of questions to sir.
Yeah, I am always ready to answer.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. So it's very you have so started with the session very with a nice quote with Philip Kotler, and you have taken up the session in such a way that it really works with the participants from easy to I said difficult, I should say, because talking to about Philip Kotler definition, you talked about how research it works. Later on, you talked about individual research and business researches. So I'm very happy, sir. Actually, we are mostly going for individual research, and we're not going for business researches. So the proportion you have said very correctly, sir. Most of the people, most of the participants, and most of the research scholars go for individual researches, sir. Later on, you talked about, sir, importance of research in commerce and management, and sir, you have thrown research process, how research scholars or researchers do research, and what are the steps to be followed during researches. Very nicely, sir, you have thrown an insight to all the newly researched researchers or those who are doing still research. So it's a very nicely you have presented. Later on, sir, you have talked about the trends of research, sir. It is very amazing, sir. It's very nicely you have presented in a descending order, like how we can go. And lastly, even ask the question which one will be the first one. So, sir, it was very good, very good, sir. You have thrown a very nice insight to for today's session, sir. We thank you for your valuable time, sir. And sir, soon we'll sir meet you tomorrow for the second day session, sir.
Sure, sir.
Thank you to all the participants. Thank you to all the participants who were patient listening, for the patient listening. Thank you, sir.
Thank you all. Thank you so much. From
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you.
tomorrow, we are going to go into technical topics. I hope you will have a lot many doubts from tomorrow's session. So until then,
Yes, sir,
we will
exactly.
meet tomorrow. Bye bye. Take care. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much. Participant, please fill up the feedback link for today's. It's given the chat box and YouTube link and even the Google Meet. Thank you so much. Thank you, dear. Thank you so much. Sir, tomorrow, sir, 5:45, sir, we will joining, sir. 5:45, so 15 minutes before. It is given the brochure. 15 minutes before the session, you need to join, sir. Sir, I'll update you in the group, sir. No problem with that. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
There are